stuff. That's cool. So now the orientation is an issue, right? Because we can't work with this. It's not oriented correctly. So let's do a little trick on the curve before we sample that, and we're gonna put this. The way we're gonna solve this is by adding normals to the curve. And right now the curve doesn't have any normals. If you click here, you can see that there's no normals. We're gonna do that with a points up, and the points up has a parameter to add normals, and there we go. We already have normals pointing up, but we don't want them to point up. What we want is to point to the next point, right? If you see the point numbers, you see 0, I want it to point to 1, 1 pointing to 2, and along the way of the curve. So to do that, it's just a very simple but nice trick. So let's go drop a sorts up, and the sorts up, we're going to connect the curve there, and the sorts up has an attribute which is a shift, and what we're going to do is shift the points by 1. So 0 is going to be let me just do it, offset it by 1. Now 0 is here, 1, 2, 3. So the start of the curve is here. So as before, the curve started here, now it starts here. So well actually the points, not the curve. The curve stays the same. So I'm gonna use this and plug it to the second input of the point sub, and if I look to that, we're gonna delete the normals expressions here. Normal expression by that goes in by default there, and we're just gonna subtract the point on the second input, which is this, by we're gonna subtract that. We're gonna let me just put this expression. We're gonna subtract the translation of the second, and we're subtracting the position of the first one. So subtracting this from this, and we're actually getting a vector. So let's do that in the 3-axis, 3y, 2, and we're not actually moving in y, but well, we have to be consistent here. It's not really important to do it in y. And I forgot to add the $sign there. And now, as you can see, the normals are pointing to each point, and they're actually having the length also to the next point, and that's exactly what we want. We want this point to point to the normal, to point to this, to point there, to point there, and if we modify the curve now, they are gonna update. The normals is gonna update. So that's what we need to. So the boards can copy each other correctly. So now that we added the normals, we actually don't need this sub here. So there we go. We have the normals correctly, and actually this is weird. Just try this. I think there was to me here. Whoa, what's wrong now? Just figure this out. Because I should not have. these normals like that. This is weird. Okay, let's just try this because I don't know. There we go. I put their sample above, and the normals were updating as they should, but not what we wanted. So we first resample the curve, and we then do the normals. And excuse my error there. So you can see we have another error here, and the first one and another one is the orientation, because they are not facing the right way. Let's just fix that again with a transform and rotate him 90 degrees now, and now we have the boards the way we want them to be. And if we modify the original curve now, they are facing the right way, the direction of the segments that they should be looking at. But we have these problems on the corners, and remember, we're not gonna be having boards on the corners. We're gonna have the corner poles there, so don't worry about that. And there's a very clever way that this is done. Actually, this I forgot to mention this, but this is based on a very old Houdini example that came in, I think, training for Houdini 5.5, and this was a sample scene. And looking at that sample scene, I saw how they grouped the only the corners. Because if you resample this, you have a lot of points, and you need to extract only the corners, and there's a clever way to do that in the example, and that's what we're gonna use. So now that we have our curve resampled, and it has these normals and stuff, we're gonna need to make some groups first. Let's make some groups for the parts that we want to copy points to, boards to, and the corner. So let's just do that little trick that I was telling you about. So let's create a sphere, and we're gonna use this to just group the corner points. Make it a radius of 0.1. Create a copy sub, copy the sphere to the curve. Let's just organize this a little bit so we don't get all crossing and stuff. There. So I have a sphere in each point, in each corner. So we're gonna use this on a group here. We have our all of the points that we're gonna use to copy geometry, but we're gonna use an attribute here. We're not gonna use the number. Shut that off. Go to the bounding section and first change this to points, because we're gonna group points. And enable this section, and you can see we have a box that is gonna help us group points. You can see whatever it is inside this box is gonna be in the group. So those yellow ones are in the group, but we don't want the box. We want to use our own object, which is this option right here, bounding object, and we're gonna plug these spheres that we copy. So now that we have a sphere in each corner, we're having that those points in a group. So let's just name this group corners group. Name these groups because we're gonna have several groups here. So now if I middle click here, I can see that I have 6 points in corners group, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly what I want. So the group sub has this very cool section, which is the combine, and allows you to create groups based on other groups. So I'm gonna create another group which is gonna be boards group, board boards points group. That's gonna be the name, and I'm gonna do it based on corners group, but I'm not gonna make it equal to corners group. I'm gonna make it not equal to corners group, and you can see I have here highlighted what's gonna be a member of that group, and it's all the points that we need for the boards, and that's exactly what we need. And you can see we have 2 point groups now, 6 points in corner group and 47 points in board points group. Okay, so that's gonna help us copy. And if we go to the copy sub and choose here in the template group, choose the board points group, and there we go. We'll get rid of the corners and we don't have that problem anymore in the first one. We just have boards where we need to have them. Now we have this spaces there, so let's just copy the corners. Make another copy. Actually, we have a copy here on the. Just hide that for a second. We have a copy here. We're just gonna use the base curve to copy those ones here. Just move it down here. Just add a null here for organization purposes. Move all this stuff down here. There. So this doesn't get complicated. There we go. We're copying the corners here and we're copying the boards here, so let's just do a merge on that to bring them together. Merge this one and merge this one, and there we go. We have our post and we have our boards. Now the only thing we need to add is the supports to make this complete. So for the boards, we're gonna draw another curve, which is gonna be the profile, and let's go to the front view to draw this. Let's just draw this in the center, create a curve, and name this supports curve. Create it here in the center. Make a square for now. Can modify it later. There we go. We have a square. Go to perspective view, and what we're gonna do with this is make a sweep along the curve that we have. So use a sweep to do this, and the sweep sub has 3 inputs, but we're gonna only use the first 2. We need a cross section and a backbone, and the cross section is gonna be this one. If you done some nerves from the past, you can kind of know what this means. And the backbone is the original curve. I don't know why I'm getting that flipping now. Okay, so this one is kinda like the copy, makes a copy to each corner, each point. But now we have this orientated correctly in the corners and stuff, and we also have this output section where we can have a skin on that. Look at that, it makes like a rail. So let's just click the angle fix to fix the corners, and let's use a vertex here to fix that we're turning. Just activate to use vertex and move that. And no, that's not it. Why? Just twist it. I don't know why. Roll it. That's weird that we're getting that kind of twist. Just try to rotate this. I don't know why am I getting that twisting. Very weird stuff. Okay, let's try recreating that curve. Let's see from top. Right here. Create a curve again, and like that. Close it. Actually, let me just create again because I forgot a point. Four points, sweep that, and we got some weird results again. I don't know why. So let's fix this by turning it around. If we turn it to 90 degrees and we turn it 90 degrees this way, keeps looking weird. Now that's weird. So okay, let's just hit it, turn it 90, 45 degrees there. I don't know why, but it's not even working. Sorry. This is weird. It's getting this turning. But okay. But there, if I turn that around, I get it to be kind of flat, but just try to get it exactly flat. And there we go. That's it. It might be the curve, the original curve, but I don't know. That's a very weird thing to do, but it's working now. So okay, so I don't need to have this as wide as it is. So let's just scale it out, scale it in a little. But 0.3, as I said, I like 0.3. And let's just actually merge this to the others here. If we look at that, we have the support there. It's not in the place we want it, so let's move it up. We're gonna move it up here. Yep. It's just right here. Let's add in that transform and move it up. There we go. We're not moving it up. There. And let's just name this upper support, not with 3Ps, just with one. Upper support. Create a new transform, but outside here, and plug it here. Make a merge and put it in here and merge this one, because we are gonna have a new transform with this, a new support with this. It was snap into the grid. So there we go. We have the upper and the bottom support. There we go. We have the upper and the bottom support, or the lower support, and that's it. That we're actually kind of done. But if we see this from the top, you can see that the boards are going through the support, so we need to move them. So let's go to the boards, transform here, and just move them in, I think X, X by 0.3, in the other direction, not as much as 0.3 actually, 0.15. There we go. There are where they should be. What's wrong now? 0.3, 0.2, 0.2, no, just 0.2, but negative. There we go. They're in where they should be, but something's weird, man. I can tell. I don't know what, but I think I saw something weird. Let's just go again to the top view. Maybe the curve is not flat anymore. Just look at that, because we need to have our curve totally flat, and it is flat. Now we have a point going lower. So let's snap it to the grid, and there we go. And I think that that's what was screwing up our sweep. If I look at from the top now, yeah, and look at that, the sweep, it got bigger now because that was the problem I was having earlier. So let's just fix that. We don't need this. We don't need this transform here. Actually, we do, but not this rotation here. Let's just fix that. We haven't that's okay. And just look at the merge. So I just need to move the support here a little. Where are you? Where am I looking now? That what we're not gonna move the support. We need to move the board. Sorry, that got me a little confused. So the upper support there's fine, and the bottom support's fine. What we have to move is the board here. And we need to move it by 0.3, like I said, but negative. A bit more. Let's go to 0.45. There we go. They're laying on the support and they're kinda where they should be. And yeah, it's good to have those kind of errors, because you gotta find out what's wrong. And as you can see, this doesn't work good with curves that are not planar. So let's just fix the supports now. They're put them where they should be. There we go. So now that's the tool. We built everything for the tool. We can use it already. We can, if we plug another curve here, it will work. And let's prove that. Let's add a null here, so I can translate all the connections here. If I create another curve here, curve, and start building my new fence, and I plug that in to the system, see the result. There we go, it's working. If I modify it, it's working. Shoo, yeah, it's working. It's all working. So that's it for the building of the tool. Where in the second part we're gonna be doing all the interface and the parameters, limiting parameters, making them in nice ranges and stuff. And for now, as you can see, this is not that complicated. Actually, we have some troubles there, but we learn how to fix them, and we learn what they were and what not to do with this tool, because it can break the tool. As you can see, if we don't have points in the planar direction in the a planar curve, that this actually breaks. And we can maybe do another kind of tool for heels and stuff that can go on heels and work okay, but not this tool. This tool is for planar stuff for now. So that's it for this part, boys. I think this has been very useful, and I hope you can grasp the idea of doing procedurally stuff, because we're all doing all of this stuff with just one curve here. Drives the whole thing, and I have ideas for a lot of stuff, and I've done some other things that I drive with a curve and do this complicated stuff. So this is all for today, and I hope I see you in part 2, where we're gonna build the UI and make this tool into a digital asset. Thank you, and later.